Now, Louisiana is known as the Hollywood of the South. Unlike the lefty Hollywood out there, the Hollywood of the South loves Donald J. Trump. And that's why I'm pleased to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Ted Baldwin, film director and screenwriter and a working part of that Hollywood of the South. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Baldwin.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Hey, we did it. We got Donald J. Trump elected president. Let's hear it. We've got a real American, a real leader. I see a lot of my friends out here. Roger Villery, I was on the State Central Committee for a while. Roger's a great guy. We're lucky to have him. Michael Elmore, one of my ministers at First Christian Church. Other friends that are here today, welcome. Get to know people, because that's what it's all about. I started fighting communists when I was about 15 years old. I had a radio show when I was in high school, co-hosted with a friend of mine. And it was a point-counterpoint, believe it or not, back in the 60s. And I was the conservative voice. And some of the miseducated, uneducated high school students that we brought on that show that were for the left, that were pro-Cuba, and they were pro-Russia, and they were pro-communism, they didn't know anything at all but what they'd been spoon-fed. And they fed it back to us, and we beat them down. Well, we beat them in the argument then. In the late 60s, we beat the communists when they were protesting the Vietnam War. We beat them in the 70s when Bill Ayers and his radicals tried to have a war against the United States government and bombed 80 buildings. We put a lot of those people in prison where they belonged. In 1989 and a few years later, we brought down the Soviet Union. We put an end to it. And then the communists in this country, now there still is a Communist Party, USA, the communists in this country got smart. They changed their name. They became progressives. They became anything but communists, and the reason was we had done to the communist name brand what it needed to have done to it. We sullied it, we exposed it for the truth that it was. And they laid low for a while, but now they're back as radicals, as the left. There are lots of groups that have sprung up that are all across this country that are anti-American, and they think that the United States is a terrible place. It's a place of discrimination and hatred, and it needs to be brought to its knees. And they have no idea, as our earlier speaker was saying, what the elitists are really like. Those wolves in sheep's clothing. They think that Islam is going to be revered in the United States once the left takes control of the country. They're going to get rid of Islam. They don't want anybody around that can possibly have another revolution. So all the revolutionaries are going to be wiped out. You know, I'm torn on that question, but we want to keep our country. We want to keep everyone's free to speak and do as they say. Donald Trump is hated by the left. They'll stop at nothing to destroy him. They want to tear us away from him. I say hell no to that. They want him isolated and alone against their insults, their attacks, their fake news. They don't want him to have any supporters, no associates. They want him gone. The work we did getting him into office was not enough, though. President Trump needs us more than ever. Who are we, though? Who am I? We're individuals that the Constitution of the United States was written for. I tell you, radical people hate rights and individuality with a passion, and they hate the Constitution. I'm not here speaking because I'm a Republican. I'm not up here because I have a degree, not because I'm gay, not because I'm a senior, or because I'm a screenwriter-director, not because I fit into any group. I'm here because I'm an individual, and the individual citizen of the United States is the most powerful person in the world. I have the full backing of the Constitution to pursue happiness. I have a government that was designed to keep its nose out of my business and protect me from harm. There was a time when the murder of a single American overseas carried grave consequences for the country that allowed it. There was a time when average citizens in major cities were not afraid to go out at night, not because they were armed, which is their God-given right, but because we had created a decent society based on Judeo-Christian principles. A society where citizens were taught to respect other people and their property as they respected us, where there were rightful consequences. The Constitution does not say in order to form a perfect union of states. It says to form a more perfect union. They knew it would not be perfect. They could hardly have imagined we would carry instant libraries and selfie sticks. But they had the foresight to protect speech, to allow us arms to protect against the tyranny of our own people who would seek unlimited power. My generation, my parents' generation, we were kind and tolerant, and we half believed the radicals when they told us we were intolerant and evil. We accepted that we could do better, but they were never interested in a dialogue. They only wanted more and more and more, tearing us down, shaming America, shaming our great country, and we allowed it. President Trump knows the truth. We are a good and decent people. We care for our own. We don't need a big brother in Washington or in Baton Rouge.
No, we don't.
Today we stand on the brink of worldwide slavery. Slavery to unelected and uncaring masters. People buy slaves every day in some countries in the world today. It's not enough for them, though. They want to make us slaves, too. And we truly reject slavery. Donald J. Trump will empower each and every person with a job, an income, and financial stability in a country run on sound business principles. We will never accept enslavement. It's okay to clap if you don't want to be a slave. There's no more powerful country on earth than the United States. And in the past, we've taken the responsibility to feed the world, spread freedom, and guard our allies. In 8 years, we've seen it almost destroyed by lies and failures, and the intentional sabotage of America by its domestic enemies. We are now faced with a political media complex where seemingly innocent politicians lie with the help of media, and the public ends up supporting truly horrible things. I've been lucky. I work as a journalist sometimes. I've got a press pass. It gets me into the rallies, and I get to go up on the dais with the other media. I stand next to CNN sometimes, next to the New York Times. I feel I need to go home and take a shower when I'm done. The other thing is, President Trump's up there going, see those people up there? And he's pointing right at me. And it's like, no, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. You know, this is a friendly camera right here. See that camera? It's my camera. It's good. They're not very happy people. They're unfriendly, even not knowing I'm a Republican. They're very unfriendly, sour people. And it's a sad way to have to live. We're a good and decent and smart people. We've stopped trusting fake news. You know, if they lie to you once, they'll do it again and again and again, and they're laughing about it. Well, they quit laughing on election night, let me tell you. When Donald Trump started running for office, they stopped loving him and started hating him for challenging her right to the presidency. You know, about media love for Donald Trump, before he started running for president, he was a darling of the NAACP. I heard a reporter down here asking Colonel Manus why, you know, Trump people were so racist. It's like, it's a lie. We're not racist at all. The lie is built up. Those same people were cheering Donald Trump on when he got the NAACP awards for helping the black communities. They want to connect Donald Trump with violence and with hate groups. When we started the Tea Party 7 years ago, the first thing the left did was start sending actors out to pretend to be Tea Party people. They had misspelled signs. They blacked their teeth out and wore crummy clothing and acted like rubes and got themselves on TV and in front of cameras. They started giving interviews as though they were full-fledged Tea Party members. And little by little, they chipped away at the Tea Party. Then in the IRS refused to give us tax status. And in 2 years' time, they practically destroyed the entire movement. The reason they did that is because they had a name, the Tea Party. It was something they could look at, something they could put a handle onto, and something that could be destroyed. So they went after us, and we fell for it. And the media took us down. They call Donald Trump names. They call him a Nazi, a fornicator, a molester, an anti-Semite, I should say. They call him a Nazi. Did I mention that they call him a Nazi already? Oh, I forgot. He's literally Hitler, you know. Literally. I mean, everybody knows that's common wisdom. You know, that almost worked. But we saw the real man. Today, I believe we're a movement without a name. We don't need a name. We're individuals from all over the country. There's nothing the left can do to us because they have no name to hang anything on. They can't say, oh, there go the Trumplicans. No, we're not Trumplicans. I'm a member of Gays for Trump. Great. They're trying to take that little organization down. But, you know, we're all individuals. We're all members of what? A movement that has no name. They want to now attack our individuality. And that's a big thing of the left the last 20 years, is to go after individuals. And now it's all about the collective, and it takes a village. No, my mom and dad raised me, not the village.
Exactly.
My mom and dad taught me about the evils of communism. They even went so far as to get me a subscription to Soviet Life magazine so I could see the propaganda, and they showed me what was propaganda themselves. So I got a good education. That's what it takes. We've got to educate people. Last fall, millions of individuals crossed political lines, racial lines, orientation lines to defy the masters and vote for a true individual, a devoted father, a patriot, a good man. He respects our individual power, and he's restoring not just the words of the Constitution to power, but the heart. So far, he's doing right by us. The U.S. Constitution is for people who are black and red and Jewish and gay and female and disabled, not as groups, but as citizens. Our rights come from God, natural rights that say, I have the right to love whomever will have me. I have the right to own property, to raise my kids, to feed myself, to arm and protect myself, to marry and share and more, all without the need for government intervention in my life. Don't need it. Thank God today we've got President Trump, who respects all people of goodwill, and that's important. Not every culture is the same as ours, because not every culture is based on goodwill. We get along with England, a goodwill country. We get along with Israel, a goodwill country. There are lots of nations in this world that are not disposed towards goodwill. We don't need to be their friends. We need to lay down the law and explain what it means to be free. We have to do our part as individuals. Listen, when someone attacks your faith, let them know it. It's not okay. Don't just sit there and take it. If they're ridiculing Christians or Jews or what have you, tell them. Tell them how you feel about it. You don't have to be mean about it, but just stand up. You'll be amazed at the chilling effect that has on prejudice and intolerance from people that think they're very tolerant. When they ridicule your political views, stand up to them. Tell the truth. Stay informed. Look, if you get put in Facebook jail, it's okay. You will get out. But stand up to them. Don't be afraid. Do not fear. Don't worry if they make you sound foolish. Who cares? You're an individual, and you have the right to think and speak as you please. When they lie about Trump, when they assassinate his character, lie about his intentions and his associates, speak up. You don't have to be classy. You don't have to be eloquent. Most importantly, you don't have to be silent. They want to shut us up because, why? Because they have no defense against the truth. President Trump tells the truth, you can too. Lost my last page somewhere. Oh, wait a minute, where is it? Right here. And it's the last page because there's nothing on it. The Trump train is a truth train. Let's hear it for Trump. Thank you all. Be brave, and God bless and keep Donald Trump safe.